it, and then I was like, oh, it'll take 2 seconds. I don't know why I'm worried about that. Trying to have a street fight where I'm making my body fit the client and vice versa, and like, how do I deliver pressure in a way that's like easy for me to do, that's, you know, most effective for them. And then this stuff, I don't think this particular move is in the workbook, but I developed this basically from a mat-based practice. And then right calf, Kristen? Yep. So I'm like, how am I going to press on their calves when, I don't know, it's kind of weird, right? So I'm like, I'm going to be as lazy as possible, because that's really what I'm encouraging you to do, is to be as absolutely lazy as possible as we can get you to be. How's this right there? Oh, I did that, and look, it's like it don't quite catch. You got to lower the camera a little bit. Can you, you can look at the screen in the back. Oh, no, I'll get it. Hold on. No, because I got to teach you which ones to alter and whatever. I'll just get it real quick. I was going to get you to do it, and then I was like, oh, it'll take 2 seconds. I don't know why I'm worried about that. There we go. That's probably better. So all I'm doing is stacking my thigh in such a way that I can sit down. And then when I'm pushing her leg down into my thigh, like how broad is my thigh from here? It covers almost half her leg, which I found with people with really tight legs, Kristen does in particular. They receive the pressure differently than like a forearm or an elbow. Then for me, you know, how much pressure was it? Like, was I working hard to deliver what I was doing? No. Then it's like, if I wanted to go to the lower portion of the leg, and I'll ask her for feedback, you want me to go just a little bit lower?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Or is it just a little higher?
Yeah, both are good.
Both are good? Okay. Because one, I got a chance to just sit down, but I noticed, you know, I could deliver this big broad pressure to the calf, but then I had the tib anterior that I could kind of sandwich right here.
I'm jealous right now.
And then when I come in, what do you think about there, Kristen? Okay. So generally my elbow is right over where my thigh is. You could fudge this in various ways. Like, for instance, if I took my elbow down here, it's going to bend her leg just a little bit. The angle leverage is just slightly different. But really just go with your partner's calves and like how they feel. And then she starts, some clients do this automatically. She's been well trained as a client. Like, she automatically starts doing this active thing. The people who are chronic pain or athletes, they love this, by the way. And then she's stretching and mobilizing because, am I working the gastrocs?
Yeah.
Am I working soleus? Technically, could I be working like tibialis posterior? Am I working tibialis anterior? And we've sandwiched the whole foot. So she got to there. Now I'm going to try to passively, I'm going to see what happens. What happens when I do this for you? What do you think? More lateral or more medial?
Both.
Both. You like more the calf stretch? Is the elbow too sharp?
No, it's good. It's referring across the top of my foot.
Totally fine. The clients, they go, I don't understand. I feel this. Like, I'm like, do you feel something on your foot? And they're like, yeah, on the top. I'm like, the top of my foot. I'm like, cool, like right around here. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, how did you know that? Just another day of work. You get used to those referred pain patterns. It just lights up all the time. Then what you do is when they say, hey, it lights up at the top of my foot, somebody comes in, they says, I have foot pain. They say, where? And they're like, right here on the top of my foot. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know what to go do. And they're like, how did you know that? That's all, I thought it was like magic. Right there. Kristen?
Yes. I'm definitely awake.
Ugh.
Don't teach me not to use. I have to use cruise control on the way home.
Now, for some people, this will be enough of a tourniquet. Their blood flow will be crimped because of the way I'm pressing from either side. this foot will start to look kind of jaundiced. If they're pale like me, almost like yellowish, it'll be less red. I can't see the bottom of her foot from this position. Does it look like that a little bit? Like it's lost a little blood flow? Okay. Because the lighting here is pretty good. We can see well. You need more, Kristen? Woo! So with my elbow right here, I'm going to try something. And I joke with Chad about skin stretch. I wanted to mention this for a second. So Kristen, is it better if I go down?
Yeah.
Or up?
Down.
Okay. Down? Tell me when.
When?
Okay. Now, more medial or more lateral?
Medial.
More medial? Tell me when.
When?
The tell me when is the pouring of the tequila. Like, to me, the right spot. Because I know I got into the right spot. She just told me I did. There's this thing that happened with Walt Fritz, and Walt Fritz is one of the only educators that I regularly recommend massage therapists check out. Walt Fritz is a New England physical therapist. We used to work with John Barnes teaching myofascial release, and he got tired of their explanations and went off and he did the hero's journey in search of science to find out what the science really said about why the stuff worked or whatever. And I had a conversation with Walt, and to understand like contextually what this looks like, I dress like me. I'm wearing a Frederick Douglass t-shirt with Ty Fisherman pants, long hair. Might as well be AC/DC, Walt comes in, he has nice little spectacles, it's very bald. Has nice khakis and a nice little button-down shirt. And we sit down over lunch at a class I attended of his, and he's like, Robert, people think our work is completely different, but I think it's completely the same. And I was like, I agree. I was like, I don't think fundamentally we're doing anything that's all that different. Different styles, because I work on a mat, he works on a table. And then when I was asking him questions about the pain science, I was like, compression. And he's like, just stretches skin. And I was like, Walt, all touch stretches skin. What the hell, bro? Like, we're gonna argue semantics now? Like, argue about how we're working tissue? And when I talked to Chad about the pain science, he focuses on the skin stretch. You dying over here, Kristen?
I'm alive.
Because I'm pretty chill. A little bit of tension on my shoulder from my deltoids from holding it, but I'm fine. So the issue is Walt is, from a scientific perspective, trying to narrow it down to like, why does the technique work? Like, what does the research actually say? The real hero's journey of the science to like double-blind research and whatever. And it's like, he's telling me, he was concerned that I'm worried about compression, meaning pounds per square inch. In other words, deeper work is more effective and it straightens out fascia and all this stuff. And I'm like, no. When I say compression, I just mean it's not like sliding effleurage like strokes for me. Like, there's something about compression that really hones me into a specific spot, and I seem to get the largest changes for clients' tissue, including my own. And once I refined what he was saying to like it stretches skin, I was like, oh. But one of the things I did learn from Walt is like, do you need a little bit more down? Tell me when.
When?
That right there completely changed my entire practice. When I watched Walt work and I saw him, it was very different, his style. Like I blended that thing that I just showed you into my work from his. His was table-based, but I was like, oh, dude, why don't I just ask him? Why did I never think? Because before it was like I would just shear and they'd go, and I'd go, great, I'm in the spot, which is communication. But I was like, I never thought, because of my massage training, to just ask them to like shear different directions, stretching skin to like get feedback. So is her foot all pale?
You can tell difference.
You can tell the difference?
You can really tell the
Yeah.
difference.
So I'm gonna slowly back off of this, and I want you to look at her foot and like its color. And I release these really slow when these compressions are super deep. Any change there? And then, do you need another pass? How's your calf here? Tight? Then you need to go higher?
I think it's low.
A little bit lower? Okay. And I'm just, say it again?
So it's hard to tell. It's just from like pushing the
Oh.
gas for.
And then again, there's no judgment for me if she wants higher or lower or whatever. How's that? Is that too much?
Good.
And do you think you need another pass like right in here?